Hey fellow comrades, how you guys been doing? It's your boys in here and welcome back to the Battle Union Week 10 going against Bias, Coach Bias for the Twinleaf Tyrunts. This guy is currently standing on the 3rd place. We are currently on the 4th place. If we manage to win this battle, we can go up to the 3rd place guaranteed. If Lorenzo loses, we can go up to the 2nd place. That'd been great, but if we lose this battle, then we're probably gonna go up to down there to the 5th to the 6th, depending on what kind of scoring the other people have. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's go right to it. So I'm gonna lead with Electros, he's gonna lead with Tyrantrum. That is pretty bad. I should have expected this because Tyrantrum is basically like the best poke against Electros, like mine. So I had to switch out to Croc. He manages to put up the rocks, which is something I was kind of hoping for, so I can put up my own rocks. Now, I'm actually Choice Scarf Crocodile, and the thing is, with Stealth Rocks being put into place, he may not know this yet. So I'm switching out because I'm kind of locked into Stealth Rocks. I have to switch out, so I'm going to switch out to my S-Wood, my Gastrodon to take on potential Earthquake, Ice Fang, Fire Fang, whatever move he's got, but he's actually going to go for the Dragon Tail, so he's probably more of a bulky spread. I cannot seem to say if he's a special one or a defensive one as of right now, but I'm just gonna go for Ice Beam. It is on stab and not too well known with Tyrantrum, so I would have still assumed it's a defensive spread, you know, to go against maybe potential. Well, generally he would have probably gained more from a special defensive spread, which he could have just been. But for now, I'm just gonna go for Scald. I'm pretty sure with the ice, with that Ice Beam damage there, I'm pretty sure Scald should take him out. And in case he switches out to something that resists the Ice Beam, Scald is a much better decision to go for. In case something switches in, there's also a chance to burn. So Weavile comes in after Tyrantrum has been taken down. He did manage to poison me, but because the Dragon Tail miss, gave us that really nice chance to just attack him straight out the bat. He's gonna go for the knockoff. He's gonna take us out. Now I still wasn't too sure on whether or not this is a choice Weavile. He could potentially been a Focus Sash one, but then again, if he was truly Focus Sash, he would have tried to preserve it. The thing is that I don't see any Life Orb, and knockoff is still powerful enough to take down the Gastrodon. I'm not EV trained in defense whatsoever outside of HP. So I switch out to Scizor, which is a very good counter, I guess one could say check, but really, I mean, if it's Choice Bandit, knockoff is still gonna do a significant amount with Stealth Rock support, even with that half damage, still stab and all. But for now, I'm just gonna go for the U-turn, knowing that for a fact he must switch out. I mean, he could have run low kick, I guess. I mean, yeah, but he doesn't have it, so I'm just gonna go for the U-turn right here, ladies and gentlemen. Plus, he had to switch out because there's nothing Weavile can really do to one-shot me. So Emboar was to be expected, but here's a thing. Choice Scarf Keldeo, he's got a huge weakness towards one. And with him pretty much taking out the bench Pokemon Tornadus Furion, it makes Choice Scarf Keldeo a must. It outspeeds Pidgeot, it outspeeds Tornadus, it outspeeds Weavile, it outspeeds Scarf Emboar potentially. He is a must. So I've seen leftovers on Emboar, but he switches out to his Tornadus, which is actually assault vested. So as you guys can see, that burn right there is very important because the burn makes this put down into a killable range, where without the burn that would have definitely not been the case. Now he made a misplay there, not knowing a modest Scarf. He was probably thinking I'm Specs, or just definitely not expecting me to be Scarf, but I was not fair on him being Scarf because he doesn't need this much speed. But at the same time, my Keldeo definitely needs the speed to go against him. So at the same time, if he was expecting a Scarf Keldeo, he may have been a Scarf variant, but luckily he is not. So anyways, Mega Pidgeot comes in. I'm gonna switch out to my Electros. I know the Fog is to be expected, but at the same time, I cannot risk the Hurricane. Basically, my Keldeo is needed for the rest of his Pokemons. Edgy Slash can do damage, as that's true. I would assume Shadow Ball as well as Shadow Sneak is enough to take me out. But then he's got Emboar and he's got this Pidgeot, which cannot come in if I scratch it and force it out. It just cannot come in and take 2 Scalds. That is basically what I'm after. Plus, it outspeeds Weavile, so Keldeo is in there to stay. Have to preserve for later on if I wanna be having a good chance of this battle. So I'm just gonna go for T-Bolt again. I don't want to be too risky. I see no reason to really risk too much, so I'm just gonna go for it, and I do manage to get a paralyzation. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Edgy Slash isn't really that fast, but Electros isn't that fast either, so I would assume that this paralyzation, if it was a possible speed tag, I cannot seem to say how much speed Edgy/had. It's been forever because this thing is actually banned by Smoke and Tears, so it's been forever, so I cannot seem to say how much speed it has, but I would assume that this paralyzation kind of helped him out a little bit because it made him slower if he was potentially faster, and that managed to make him stay into his defensive form as I throw in my flamethrower, which means that he can, you know, he can still gain that lefties and he can still attack me afterwards. So he can still go for the Shadow Sneak, but that backfire, ladies and gentlemen, as he gets paralyzed. That is very unfortunate. He's just gonna go for T-Bolt right now, ladies and gentlemen, and break him down. So Electro is doing some work right now, but looking at his team, Assault Vest Electros was much needed. He's got Tornadoes, he's got Pidgeot, and basically with those two already, Electros is a must. I did not expect 2 flying type Pokemon, that is for certain, but anyways, he's gonna go for knockoff. I have no reason to really predict. He can make a double switch right here, but again, as I mentioned, if he does play it safe, this allows me to switch out to Mega Scizor. Yes, the score has been taken down a bit. I still got 4 Pokemon left, and he's in there with his basically his Emboar, his Weavile, as well as his Pidgeot. But here's a thing: if I can U-turn against this Emboar, I can chip up some more damage, which I guess is a little bit more than lefties. And if he's especially defensive in some way with leftovers, then he can potentially take my Scald. I am modest by the end of the day, but I'm still kind of doubting he's got this special defense investment in order to take this. So I would assume it's more defensive, you know, in HP and defense a little bit, just because he's been taking that. Even with a 4-time resistance, that is still Mega Scizor 252 attack EVs. So that is very, very impressive. But speaking of impressive, of course, Weavile is gonna come in. Scald, of course, Weavile, I don't believe he's got a move that can one-shot me. I basically resist both Ice and Dark. Which is great, actually, thinking about it now. Now that I think about it, this is actually very good. Ice and Dark isn't that easy to really have like resistances towards them both, you know. But Keldeo definitely has that, and definitely pulling through right here. He has to go for Ice Shard. There's no way avoiding. I will outspeed him. Of course, he is not Choice Scarf, so I'm going to go for the Scald, ladies and gentlemen. It is enough because Modest, our Cereal, is going to be taken down. Pidgeot truly looks glorious as a Mega. I took him down to, I put him up to the top 2, I would assume. Like top 1 favorite Mega is definitely Mega Houndoom, but Pidgeot is definitely up there. So gonna go for the Scald. He is not EV trained in special defense whatsoever, and Modest Keldeo is gonna pull through for us and give us the win. So that was the match against Bias. Going a little bit into this Bell, as I watched his analyzation video, he was a little bit, he wasn't expecting my Crocodile, but looking at your team, I mean, you got 3 Pokemon weak to Earthquake, and Scarf Crocodile, if I get rid of it, flying types can just pull through. So Scarf Crocodile should have definitely been a Pokemon to expect, but at the same time, Scarf Keldeo was a must. His team is way too fast for me, and I cannot play with specs when you know, Scarf Modest is pretty much enough to 2-shot most of the things. So I was basically banking on 2-shot, and plus forcing him to defog was actually very important, because we were going for the U-turn, we were forcing scouts, we were forcing those pressurous turns, and he had to defog at some point. But that is a thing, because Dragonite still have multi-scale and weakness policy with extreme speed. So with a little bit of damage on Weavile, you know, there, yeah, it became a little bit more, and I think that defog, that Stealth Rocks of its own, became, you know, not really that big of a deal, and we managed to get rid of those as well as rid of ours. But that's fine, because by the end of the day, it didn't come down to Dragonite coming in. So ladies and gentlemen, that was the match for today. Thank you very much for watching. Go check out Bias' side of the video. This pretty much guarantees us to go to the 3rd place. Bias is probably going to go to the 4th, depending on what kind of scoring the other is going to have. But there's no doubt that the Bias is going to be in the playoffs as much as I will be in the playoffs. Lorenzo is going to be in the playoffs. Laura is going to be in the playoffs, and you know, the 2 other people are definitely going to be in playoffs. Yeah, I'm rooting for you, Gabe, to get into the playoffs. And yeah, you know, definitely interesting. I also think that Eric may just come into the playoffs, so I'm rooting for you too, Eric. You know, there's gonna be a couple of people in, but that was the game for today. Thank you very much for watching. Again, go check out the Bell Union, go check out the videos, then, you know, generally the videos they do regarding the bells that took place. There's gonna be lots of bells, probably already uploaded yesterday, but I was a little bit late on the date of this upload, so sorry for that. But anyways, until next time, take care everybody. Peace out.